The Atlantic League is an independent professional baseball league that is considered to be the top tier of baseball of this kind. All stadiums that house Atlantic League teams are built to the standards of a AA to AAA stadium, and the quality of play on the field reflects this as well, as many players who are signed to a major league contract go to the AA or AAA level after being signed from the Atlantic League. There are currently 10 teams in the league, which spans the states of New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, Kentucky, and North Carolina. In this video, I will be going over a brief history of all 10 current teams going into the 2025 season. The Charleston Wheelers, named after Charleston, West Virginia's history of stern and side-wheeled boats, came into existence in 1987, after a 3-year hiatus from baseball in the city. They made their home at now demolished Wat Powell Park in the Kanawha City neighborhood of Charleston. The Wheelers were a co-op affiliated team, taking players from the Dodgers, Tigers, White Sox, Cubs, Phillies, and Braves. This didn't last, as in 1988 they became the Cubs' third full-season single-A team, joining Peoria and Winston-Salem. By the 90s, this affiliation would be the Cincinnati Reds, where they would win the South Atlantic League Championship in 1990. In 1993, ownership changed hands, and by 1995, Charleston was now named the Alley Cats. From 1998 through 2019, Charleston had changed affiliates again multiple times. They changed to the Royals in 1998, Blue Jays in 2000, Brewers in 2004, Pirates in 2009, and Mariners in 2018. In 2005 came another name change, this time to the West Virginia Power. This was to embrace the state of West Virginia as being one of the country's leading energy providers. With the name came a new downtown ballpark, then known as Appalachian Power Park until 2022, when it was renamed Go-Mart Ballpark. As a part of the restructuring of minor league baseball in 2020, West Virginia was dropped as an affiliate. 2021 would see new ownership again, as well as the team's entrance into the Atlantic League. On September 28th, the team announced a new name, the Charleston Dirty Birds, which is a reference to West Virginia's coal mines and the canaries that would be released into those mines to detect toxic gases, as they are more sensitive and would become sick faster than humans. The Dirty Birds have no championships in the Atlantic League as of yet, but they have one title in 1990 and 7 division championships in the South Atlantic League, those coming in 1990, 1991, 1992, 1997, 2007, and 2008, as well as having 9 playoff appearances. The Long Island Ducks are the oldest active Atlantic League franchise, starting in the year 2000. The name Ducks is a nod to Long Island's history of duck farming, as well as a former minor league hockey team of the same name, which operated under that name in the Eastern Hockey League from 1961 to 1973. Since their inception, the Long Island Ducks have played their home games at Fairfield Properties Ballpark in central Islip, New York, which was EAB Park from 2000 to 2001, Citibank Park from 2001 to 2010, Suffolk County Sports Park in 2010, and Bethpage Ballpark from 2010 to 2020. The Ducks have sparked rivalries between a pair of original Atlantic League teams, the first being the Bridgeport Bluefish, titled the Ferry Cup due to the ferry that can ride one back and forth between Long Island and Bridgeport. The other, while not having a formal name, is a rivalry with the Somerset Patriots, as the two teams would often butt heads in the playoffs year after year, as well as playing each other a lot during the regular season due to being in the same division. The Ducks have won 4 Atlantic League championships, coming in 2004, 2012, 2013, and 2019, as well as 9 division championships, coming in 2004, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2021, and having a total of 16 playoff appearances. The Lexington Legends franchise begins in 2001, after the Kissimmee Cobras of the Florida State League moved to Lexington under the Houston Astros affiliation. Applebee's Park opened in the same year, renamed to Whitaker Bank Ballpark in 2011, then Lexington Legends Ballpark in 2021, Wild Health Field in 2022, Counterclocks Field in 2023, and finally Legends Field in 2024. In 2006, when Roger Clemens announced his return to the Houston Astros, he played a game down in Lexington, which created the largest attendance in team and stadium history at over 9,300 on June 6, 2006. After nearly 20 years in the South Atlantic League, Lexington was one of the teams cut from affiliation after 2019 and joined the Atlantic League in 2021. After the 2022 season, the team was sold and the name was changed for the 2023 season, where they would be known as the Lexington Counterclocks, which is reference to the area being known for horse racing, in which they run counterclockwise around the track. After one season, the team was sold again and returned to the Legends name in 2024. The Legends also had created a second team for 2022 called the Kentucky Wild Health Genomes, named after the sponsor of the stadium at the time. This was to create an even number of teams for that season in the league. The team was bought by the ownership group of the Bowie Bay Sox and Frederick Keys following that season and created the Spire City Ghost Hounds, which is a team that was only known as Frederick ALPB for half of the season, then went on hiatus after its first season in 2023. Lexington has had 4 league championships, one in the Atlantic League, coming in 2001, 2018, 2019, and 2021, as well as having 4 division championships, all coming in the same years, and having 6 playoff appearances. Announced in 2003, the Lancaster Barnstormers played their first season in 2005, opening a new ballpark in the northwest corridor of Lancaster known as Clipper Magazine Stadium, which was just renamed to Penn Medicine Park ahead of the 2025 season. The name Barnstormers has a double meaning, as barnstorming in sports refers to traveling around a lot to play. Think of an MLB player that has played for 10 different teams. He is someone that would be considered a barnstormer. A look at the team logo shows a depiction of a physical barn, which refers to the area's history of Amish culture, in which barn raising is a common practice in these communities. Before the 2024 season, the Barnstormers rebranded to just be known as Lancaster Stormers, using a bull as their primary logo. However, an alternate logo still shows the barn, this time with a lightning bolt along with it. Clipper Magazine Stadium is also the current home base for the Atlantic League, having offices right on site. The Stormers have won 4 league championships in 2006, 2014, 2022, and 2023, along with 5 division championships in 2006, 2012, 2014, 2022, and 2023, as well as having 8 playoff appearances. In 2003, plans to bring a new baseball team and stadium to York, Pennsylvania were revealed. However, politics got in the way of this becoming a reality. Just 3 years later, in 2006, the Atlantic League did give York a team anyway, and this time the plan was a success. They'd start play at 2007 at Sovereign Bank Stadium, renamed to Santander Bank Stadium in 2014, People's Bank Park in 2016, and Wellspan Park in 2023. The original logo featured a bald eagle and patriotism across the board. Beginning in 2012, however, the logos were switched up to what they are currently, which reflects more of York's history during the Industrial Revolution of the 19th century. Some companies from the York area include Harley-Davidson, Stouffer's, and York International Johnson Controls. Part of the push to have a team in York after roughly 40 years was to have Brooks Robinson, a Gold Glove winner and World Series champion with the Baltimore Orioles. He played in the minor leagues with the previous team that played in York, called the York White Roses in 1955. The name White Roses comes from the War of the Roses from 15th century England between bordering cities of the same name. The baseball team in Lancaster at the time was known as the Lancaster Red Roses, and even though the two cities both have different team names nowadays, the War of the Roses persists whenever they do play each other. The York White Roses last played in 1969, and it would be 38 years until York saw baseball again. The Revolution have hosted the Atlantic League All-Star Game in 2011 and 2019, having a complete sellout in 2011 and still very respectable crowd in 2019. The Revs have won 4 league championships in 2010, 2011, 2017, and 2024, 4 division championships all in the same years, and have made the playoffs 9 times. Another team that was initially co-owned by Brooks Robinson, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, were also announced in 2006 and began play in 2008. Initial plans were to have the team begin in 2007 alongside York. However, stadium building was over budget and therefore opening day in Southern Maryland had to be moved back a year. After a failed attempt at luring the Kingston Indians to Southern Maryland in 1985 due to the rural area at the time, the Southern Maryland region quickly began being more populated as a suburb of Washington, D.C., and talks began in 2004 to bring a team to Hughesville, which was turned down by the residents of that community. They then set their eyes on Waldorf, Maryland, which was successful, and as previously mentioned, Regency Furniture Stadium was finished ahead of the 2008 season. The Blue Crab's name came from a fan naming contest, the other 5 names being the Blue Herons, Aviators, Rockfish, Ospreys, and Eagles. The vote was available to the public via the internet, by mail, or interestingly through local area Arby's. On July 13, 2019, the first ever stolen first base occurred for the Southern Maryland's Tony Thomas, as experimental rules allowed a batter to run to first on any drop ball, and if this is successful on any pitch that isn't a traditional drop third strike, it is considered a stolen base. Southern Maryland has had no league championships, but do have 3 division championships, coming in 2009, 2012, and 2013, with 8 playoff appearances. The High Point Rockers began play in 2019 in the Atlantic League to replace the Bridgeport Bluefish, a franchise that ceased operations after 2017 due to the mayor of Bridgeport's plans to turn their stadium into an outdoor amphitheater, which succeeded and then opened in 2021. After a year of the Road Warriors in the Atlantic League in 2018, the High Point Rockers were ready to take to their brand new field at BB&T Point, which was renamed to Truist Point in 2021 after the merger between BB&T and SunTrust Banks created Truist. From June to July 2018, a Name the Team contest was held for the new franchise. Other choices were the Chairmen, the Dragon Claws, Hush Puppies, Iron Dragons, Iron Eagles, Pioneers, and Splinters. The name Rockers has a double meaning, as the logo depicts a rocking chair, an ode to the city's past of producing rocking chairs. The name Rockers also refers to the ongoing downtown revitalization project going on in High Point, which according to the city is poised to have a rock and roll energy to it. My last time personally at Truist Point was in 2023, and it was a very quiet city, even at 5 p.m. on a weekday. High Point University is also close by, so that may bring in some traffic to the downtown area when in season. In fact, High Point University is responsible for the unique outfield seats at the stadium. Real seats from famous old ballparks such as Shea Stadium, Tiger Stadium, and more are available for you to sit in under cover near the video board in right field. In its short history, High Point has no league championships, 1 division championship in 2022, and 3 playoff appearances. Starting in 2022, the Staten Island Ferryhawks moved into then newly named Staten Island University Hospital Community Park, or SIUH Community Park for short. The previous tenant, the Staten Island Yankees of the New York Penn League, had always played on natural grass. However, with the new team, a new artificial turf field was brought in. More improvements would follow in the coming years, such as brand new seats and whole sections of seats being replaced with a more luxury seating experience, with mesh chairs and a place to put down your food and drink in front of you during the game. The name Ferryhawks came from a fan naming contest and was unveiled on major news talk radio stations in New York City, WABC 770 and WOR 710, around 6 p.m. on the night of November 17, 2021. The name is reference to Staten Island Ferry, which you can often see riding by in right field during the games, as well as the red-tailed and Cooper Hawks, which are native to Staten Island. Kelsey Whitmore became the first female to participate in an Atlantic League game when she came in as a pinch runner on April 22, 2022. She then became the first female to start an Atlantic League game on May 1st against the Gastonia Honey Hunters, and 3 days later, on May 4th, she became the first female to ever pitch in the Atlantic League. She's only one of 2 players that the Ferryhawks have ever sold specialized merchandise for, the other being Pablo Sandoval in 2024. She is still in independent league baseball, playing for the Oakland Ballers of the Pioneer League in 2024. In their 3-year existence, Staten Island has yet to make a playoff appearance. Announced in 2021 after the departure of the Hagerstown Suns after nearly 4 decades of existing in minor league baseball, the Hagerstown Flying BoxCars were the next team to call Hagerstown, Maryland home. The old municipal stadium was built in 1930, and with the new team came the decision to build a new ballpark. The original plan was to have the new downtown stadium ready for the 2023 season. However, building delays pushed the BoxCars' inaugural season to 2024. This ballpark would be called Meredith Park, where along with the naming right, Meredith Health would also be the official sports medicine provider for the team. The name Flying Boxcars comes from yet another fan naming contest, the other finalists being the Battle Swans, Diesel Dogs, Haymakers, and Tin Lizards. The meaning behind Flying Boxcars is to honor the production of aircraft at the local Hagerstown Regional Airport. The company Fairchild's Aircraft was once the largest employer in the county, and Hagerstown was coined as the home of the Flying Boxcar. Even though Hagerstown has only existed for 1 year so far, there has already been a geographical rivalry that started between the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, called the Black-Eyed Brawl, named after the state flower of Maryland, the Black-Eyed Susan. There is a trophy for this rivalry, which Hagerstown took home in the inaugural year 10 games to 8. Starting in 2024, the Gastonia Ghost Peppers, then known simply as Gastonia Baseball Club, picked up the pieces of the Gastonia Honey Hunters, who were removed from the Atlantic League following the 2023 season where players and employees were not being paid by the team. And the league actually stepped in to pay everyone mid-season until the end, in which they lost in the 2023 Championship Series. The new Gastonia franchise retained most of the same coaching staff, including general manager and manager. Gastonia moved into Carmont Health Park, which was still freshly built for the Honey Hunters in 2021 during a downtown redevelopment project in the Fuse district of town. Instead of just holding a typical Name the Team contest, Gastonia in 2024, still known as Baseball Club, held What If Nights, where they took the field as 7 different identities throughout the season, and after the year, fans could vote on their favorite. The names that Gastonia took on during the season, other than the eventual winner Ghost Peppers, were the Gastronauts, Baloney, Galactic Dinos, Zombies, Garden Gnomes, and the Yarniacs. This promotion won the Atlantic League's Promotion of the Year award. The Ghost Peppers were announced as the winner on October 16, 2024. In their 1 year, Gastonia made the playoffs but lost in the division championship to Charleston after getting in by winning the first half. Those are the 10 current Atlantic League teams going into the 2025 season. There might be an update to this video heading into 2026, as the Atlantic League does plan to expand to 12 teams. With a team from 2023, the Spire City Ghost Hounds, going into their second straight year of hiatus with hopes of joining back in 2026, with no word on who the 12th team will be yet. The league may not be the independent league with the most teams, but they have always been the premier independent baseball league, and there's no sign of that ending anytime soon, as this will be the Atlantic League's 27th season and going strong.